Look at this picture. What can you see? Alright, a man's using a smartphone as drugs. Maybe as same as me. Lots of you has a personal connection that your girlfriend is sitting with you, but they're just staring at their phone, which makes you really awkward. People in this century has used more smartphones than any other time period. We're using too much smartphone, and look at the data we get. So when I ask people how many times do they use their phone every day, and most of people they say 2 hours. And actually, people just like to check their phone. They feel great when they hold their phone in their hand. And actually, people are agreeing that we are using smartphone as drugs. And I think after that, all that research, I started to think that we shouldn't even call it smartphone addiction. Maybe we should call it technology addiction. That is a kind of addiction that we rely on internet and technology instead of normally drugs. And if you think that is no bad for health, and you are totally wrong. And from research, smartphone addiction overuse may cause different diseases, including mentally and physically. And people are relying on it. And you guys know this, and you have been told to put your electronic device away. And I have to say, that a lot of you look awfully exactly like that junkies have been told cannot use their drugs for the next couple of days. And it's all make me stop and think, is this kind of technology addiction is equal to real drug addiction? And if that's true, we will have much more information and we can go read further about that. So there's not a lot of experiments on smartphone addiction, but we do have a lot of experiments on real drugs addiction. So the point of view of addiction is based on an experiment which was made in the earlier 20th century. So you put a rat in a box, you give them 2 bottles of water, and one of them is just water, another one has heroin in there. So the rat always shoots the water bottle with heroin and almost kills themselves pretty quickly every time. Yeah, that's what we think how that works, right? And there's a professor in Netherlands, and he called Alexander Bruce. He saw this experiment in the earlier 70s, and he thought, oh, the rat can do nothing but choose a kind of water. So let's try something new. He built a cage. It's basically heaven for rats, and he called it like rat heaven. So the rats got lots of toenails, they've got lots of curry balls, and they got lots of friends basically. And they've also got 2 bottles of water. One of them is just water, another one of them has heroin there. Guess what happened? There's no rats choose the water bottle with heroin. So you've got almost 100% to 0% when they have happy, connected lives. And the professor starts to think there may be another theory or story for the addiction. Same as real drug addiction, like heroin. I think it's that smartphone addiction is about to cage. What is smartphone addiction? It's about adaptation to environment. What about the smartphone addiction is a bad imitate to real healthy relationships. I'm looking at this. There's a professor called Peter Cohen. I think he said we shouldn't even call it addiction. Maybe we should call it bonding. It's our human nature to bond and rely on something. If you got healthy relationships, you have people you love, you have jobs you love, you have everything you love, and that's what you rely on, right? But if that's a thing you don't have, so you will rely on something else. That might be gambling, that might be cocaine, and that might be a small, tiny, good-looking phone in your hand. And that is our human nature. That is what you want as a person. And that gives us the mighty reason of smartphone addiction, like of healthy relationships? And this question has been more and more serious for governments and your parents. And that this time the solution is given by Portuguese. In the year of 2000, Portugal has one of the most, the worst drug problem in the whole Europe. 1% of people are addicted to heroin, which is kind of mind-blowing. And every year, they try the American way more and more. So they punish them, they stigmatize them, they make them suffer, and the problem has been more and more serious and worse. So finally, they make a meeting and basically said, so we cannot keep doing that, otherwise we'll have more and more junkie on the streets. So what they decided to do is has a group of people, which is professors and doctors. So they really want to find out the solution of this kind of addiction. So they collected all the new evidence and they interviewed lots of people. And after all that thing, and they are coming back, and they said, discriminalize all drugs from heroin to marijuana. But, and here's the key, take all the money we used to spend on separate them from the society, and instead of reconnecting them with the society. The government actually find jobs for them and help them to establish healthy relationships. And 2016, this year, will be the 16 years as this experiment starts. And results are in. The drugs using in Portugal are actually down by the British Journal of Criminology by 50%, so a half. That's really a lot. And same as drugs, the best way to deal with smartphone addiction is to establish healthy relationships. Talk with your friends, love them instead of the tiny, good-looking phone in your hand. And always remember, the opposite of the smartphone addiction is not a life without any technology device. The opposite of smartphone addiction is connection. Don't let us be the loneliest societies that there has ever been. Thank you.